Hey there, America. Let's talk trade. It's complicated. Trade isn't just about goods moving from one place to another. It's about relationships, agreements, and sometimes disagreements. It's like a giant web where every thread is connected to another, and pulling one can shake the whole thing. Like a bad relationship, everyone's got their hands in the cookie jar, hoping for the biggest piece. Imagine a family dinner where everyone wants the last slice of pie. That's trade for you. Everyone's looking out for their own interests, and sometimes it gets messy. Enter Trump's 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico. This move was like throwing a wrench into the gears of an already complex machine. It wasn't just about numbers, it was about sending a message. Yeah, those friendly neighbors we share a continent with. Canada and Mexico aren't just our neighbors, they're our partners. We share more than just borders. We share economies, cultures, and histories. It's like bringing a tariff gun to a trade-off knife fight. Messy, right? Imagine trying to solve a disagreement with a sledgehammer when a handshake would do. That's what tariffs can feel like. The idea? Make American businesses buy American. It's a noble thought aiming to boost local industries and create jobs. But the reality is more complex. Sounds good on a bumper sticker. But hold on, the global economy doesn't work on catchy slogans. It's a delicate balance of give and take. This ain't a Hollywood movie. There's no script, no guaranteed happy ending. It's real life, with real consequences. This is the global economy, and slapping tariffs on your closest trading partners is like punching yourself in the face. Twice. It's self-sabotage on a grand scale. Hard. The impact isn't just on the surface, it goes deep, affecting industries, jobs, and everyday lives. The world runs on trade. It's the lifeblood of modern economies. Countries depend on each other. No nation is an island in today's interconnected world. Like it or not, we need each other's stuff. From raw materials to finished products, our economies are intertwined. Trump's tariffs? They threaten to turn this interdependence into a full-blown trade war. And trade wars have no winners, and nobody wins in a trade war. It's a lose-lose situation, with economic casualties on all sides. Except maybe the guys who sell "I survived the trade war" t-shirts. They might make a quick buck, but at what cost? This tariff tussle isn't just about steel and aluminum. It's a ripple effect that touches many sectors. It's about oil and gas, and car parts, and avocados. These are just a few examples of the many goods affected. Basically, everything we rely on our North American neighbors for. Our daily lives are filled with products that cross borders, and trust me, that's a lot. From the food we eat to the cars we drive, trade is everywhere. It's the invisible thread that connects us all. Let's talk energy, people. It's the lifeblood of our modern world, powering everything from our homes to our cars and even our smartphones. Without it, our daily lives would come to a grinding halt. The US is a thirsty beast, guzzling oil like it's going out of style. Our highways are packed with cars, our skies with planes, and our seas with tankers, all demanding more and more fuel. And guess who's quenching that thirst? Canada and Mexico. These neighboring countries are our top suppliers, sending millions of barrels of oil across the border every day to keep our engines running. Yep, those same countries we're slapping with tariffs. It's a complicated relationship filled with both cooperation and conflict. On one hand, we rely on their oil. On the other, we're imposing economic barriers. Canada, our friendly neighbor to the north, sends us over 3.8 million barrels of crude oil every single day. That's a staggering amount, and it plays a crucial role in our energy supply. That's more than half of what we import. Without Canadian oil, our energy landscape would look very different, and not in a good way. And Mexico? They supply us with billions of dollars worth of heavy crude oil annually. This oil is essential for our refineries, which are specifically designed to process it. Our refineries are practically hooked on the stuff. They need this heavy crude to produce the gasoline, diesel, and other products that keep our economy moving. But here's the kicker. Trump's tariffs could throw a wrench in this well-oiled machine. These tariffs are not just political maneuvers. They have real-world consequences that could disrupt our energy supply chain. With tariffs in place, that oil from Canada and Mexico, it just got a whole lot more expensive. The cost of importing this vital resource is rising, and that increase is going to be felt across the board. And guess who's stuck footing the bill? You guessed it, American consumers. Higher import costs mean higher prices at the pump, and that hits everyone in the wallet. Remember those cheap gas prices we used to enjoy? They seem like a distant memory now, but they were a reality not too long ago. Yeah, those might become a distant memory. As tariffs drive up costs, the days of affordable fuel could be behind us. And it's not just gas prices. The ripple effect of these tariffs extends far beyond the fuel pump. Everything from groceries to airline tickets could get hit with a price hike. Thanks, tariffs. The cost of living is set to rise, affecting every aspect of our daily lives. So, how's Canada taking this tariff tantrum? Not well. The mood up north is somber, and the Canadian flag flying at half-mast is a stark symbol of the nation's discontent. They're not just gonna sit there and take it. They're Canadians after all, they're too polite for that. But don't mistake their politeness for passivity. Canadians are rallying together, showing a united front against these economic aggressions. Instead, they're sharpening their retaliatory tariffs. Canadian officials are in intense meetings, strategizing their next moves. The steel and aluminum industries are particularly on edge, knowing they might be the first to feel the impact. Remember that $1.1 trillion trade relationship between Canada and the US? Yeah, that's in jeopardy. The seamless flow of goods across the border is now under threat, and both nations stand to lose significantly. Canada is considering hitting back with tariffs on US steel, aluminum, and even, wait for it, orange juice. Yes, the beloved breakfast staple could become a casualty in this trade war. That's right, folks. No more sunny day beverage from our northern neighbors. And it gets worse. Imagine walking into your local grocery store and finding the orange juice shelves empty. It's a small but impactful reminder of how interconnected our economies are. Canada is even thinking about slowing down the flow of oil to the US. This isn't just about juice and metals, it's about energy too. Alberta's oil fields are a crucial part of this equation. That's right, America. They could turn off the tap. The oil tap, that is. And that would send shockwaves through the energy markets. And then what? We'd be scrambling for oil like a bunch of caffeine addicts cut off from their morning coffee. Gas stations could see long lines and empty pumps, creating a ripple effect throughout the economy. This whole tariff thing could really put a damper on the Canadian economy, especially in provinces like Alberta and Saskatchewan, where oil is king. These regions could face significant economic downturns, affecting thousands of workers and their families. It's a lose-lose situation, folks. Both countries stand to suffer, with businesses closing and economic graphs pointing downward. The human cost is palpable, with worried faces becoming a common sight, and the only winners? The guys selling those "I survived the trade war" t-shirts. In the end, it's a grim reminder that in a trade war, there are no real winners, only survivors. Down south, Mexico isn't taking this lying down either. They're like, hey, we like avocados and tequila just as much as the next guy, but we're not going to be anyone's punching bag. Mexico's got its own plans, and they involve a lot less Uncle Sam. Their president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, is all about that Mexico First life. They're looking to boost their own industries and rely less on imports. Think cars, airplanes, you name it. They're also making friends with other countries like China and those cool cats in the European Union. And when it comes to retaliation, Mexico's got options. Think about it. No more avocados for your Super Bowl guacamole. No more tequila for your margaritas. And those car parts that keep your American-made vehicles running? Yeah, those might get a little harder to come by. The message is clear. Don't mess with Mexico. They've got options and they're not afraid to use them. Section 5, Global Trade, Quake Tremors in China and the EU. This tariff tantrum isn't just a North American drama. Oh no, this thing has gone global. China, the big dog in the global trade game, is watching, and they're not happy. Remember that whole trade war thing we had with China a few years back? Yeah, this is bringing back some bad memories. China's already slapped tariffs on billions of dollars worth of US goods, and they're not afraid to do it again. They've got the Belt and Road Initiative, their own global trade posse, and they're ready to roll. And then there's the European Union. They're like, hold my beer, and getting ready to slap tariffs on everything from Harley-Davidson motorcycles to Kentucky bourbon. Ouch! The point is, this tariff thing is like a bad cold. It's spreading and it's making everyone miserable. Section 6, US consumers. Feeling the pinch. Okay, let's bring it back home. What does this tariff tussle mean for you, the average American? Well, remember those "I survived the trade war" t-shirts? You might need one. Those tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods, they're gonna cost you. Literally, everything from gas to groceries could see a price hike. And don't even get me started on cars. Those tariffs on steel and aluminum, they're gonna make your next car purchase a lot more painful. And if you work in manufacturing, energy, or the auto industry, well, you might want to update your resume. These tariffs could lead to job losses. That's right, folks. Tariffs making America unemployed. Section 7. Past echoes, future warnings, a look back at trade wars. History has a funny way of repeating itself, doesn't it? Especially when it comes to trade wars. Remember the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930? No? Well, let's just say it didn't end well. That little piece of legislation helped turn a recession into the Great Depression. It was like pouring gasoline on an already raging fire. Millions of people lost their jobs and the global economy went into a tailspin. Now, I'm not saying that Trump's tariffs will lead to another Great Depression, but I am saying that we should learn from our mistakes. Starting a trade war is like playing with fire. You might think you can control it, but things can get out of hand pretty quickly. Section 8. The art of the deal or a recipe for disaster? Trump fancies himself a master negotiator. He wrote a book about it after all. But this whole tariff thing, not so much art of the deal and a lot more recipe for disaster. The thing is, trade isn't a zero-sum game. It's not about winners and losers. It's about cooperation, collaboration, and finding solutions that benefit everyone. When one country tries to win at all costs, everyone loses. Instead of building walls or tariffs, we should be building bridges. We should be working together to strengthen our economies, create jobs, and ensure a prosperous future for everyone. Section 9. Seeking solutions, diplomacy over duties. So, what's the solution to this tariff turmoil? Well, it starts with ditching the tariffs and picking up the phone. Diplomacy, folks, it's not a dirty word. Canada, Mexico, the US, we're friends, neighbors, and partners. We need to start acting like it. We need to sit down, talk it out, and find solutions that work for everyone. Trade is complicated, but it doesn't have to be a battlefield. Let's put down the tariffs, pick up the phone, and start working together. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. And nobody wants to see a sequel to the Great Depression. Except maybe those I survived the trade war t-shirt guys. But they're weird.